In a few minutes, I'm going to ask you a question that could change the world for someone with developmental disabilities. Just one question. But before I do, I need you to understand the power of that question and the impact your answer can have, because your answer can be the start of something incredible.
The reward that you get out of it is so wonderful, and the love that you get back is so unconditional that it makes it totally worth it.
With this program, with our help, that the boys can, even with their very difficult physical and mental situations, have a fairly good life.
I think they kind of look at me more as a mother figure, because I do dote on them and cook for them, and they've just become part of my life.
Donald and I have had a relationship since I was 16. We started off in a situation where I was a paid staff member, but within a couple of years, Donald moved into supported living, and I had gone on to college and had a separate life. But over the years, our paths just have interwoven back and forth, and we just had a friendship that has maintained.
Before me, she didn't really have much family. The only people that she ever knew were people that were involved in the group home environment, or they were paid to be there. And for the first time in her life a couple years ago, she was actually able to say mom to my mother. And before that, she'd never been able to say that. So that's a nice gift, to be able to give a gift to family.
It can lead to a lifetime of friendship and trust.
We go shopping for stuff, movies. He likes to go to church, so we have that in common. We have fun. We kind of just hang out like buddies.
A lot of people don't get him, and I do. And so he's fun, he's funny, and he has a great sense of humor, and I just get enjoyment out of him.
The most thrilling thing that ever happened was when we saw Michael laugh and smile for the first time. Nobody said he could do that. Everybody said he could not do that. And yet, when he was put into an environment where he knew he was safe, it happened.
It's pretty cool. Sometimes she'll be in the other room and she'll be like, hey Brooke, hey Brooke. And she'll call me over there, and it's just to give me a hug or just to tell me that she loves me.
It can show how much you care.
For the most part, he had no family left. And so that need is there not only for Donald, but for many of the individuals that are in the community. Their loved ones have passed, and they have no one to speak for them.
We're the only people that are in their lives that are not paid to be in their lives. So you want to be sure that they are being taken care of, and that they have enough food to eat and proper nutrition.
As guardians, the first important thing that we helped him with was his medical needs, and just making sure that he got what he needed, which was a lot. He needed a lot of special things in the beginning.
He has nobody to stand up for him. He doesn't have a mom or a dad or a brother or anybody to come to his rescue when they need it. Doesn't everybody need that in their life at one point or another? Somebody to fall back on, somebody to lean on.
To be a guardian, you have to be an advocate, so it's a little bit of both. And part of being a medical guardian, you advocate for that person. You're there to be a support and to be a friend and to look out for her well-being.
Your answer can change lives.
Just watching the glow, the smiles, whenever they're over for a party, or occasionally we'll take them to a restaurant and they just go bananas. So the favorite part, I would say, is just observing the pleasure they seem to have when we're around them.
I'm not the same person today that I was 7 years ago, and it's because of him. He's changed my life, and I've changed his life, and I think that's a pretty big deal.
We'd encourage anybody that it's not that hard. You just need to be consistent. And the great thing for Michael especially is we've got a long-term connection, whereas most of the caregivers are turnover relatively often. So it's a long-term relationship.
Your answer can make a difference in the lives of Oklahomans with challenges like Down syndrome, intellectual disabilities, autism, and other challenges who have no friends or family to look after them. They can feel isolated, lonely, and confused. They need someone to speak for them or help with basic decisions, someone they can turn to for advice, someone who will protect their rights. Our Corps volunteers are first matched with an individual, then look after his or her rights and provide companionship. You don't need any special skills other than compassion and a few hours a month. TARC will train you, provide technical support, and help you with everything you need to take on the important role of guardian or advocate. You'll be paired up on a trial basis, and if you both feel it's a good fit, the match is made.
When I talk about volunteers or advocates or, just being friends, a lot of times that's what's the important part is the just being friends.
Sometimes people just need someone that is going to call and check in, or that's going to drop in occasionally, maybe go out to dinner sometimes. It's not a big thing, and the commitment is what you make it.
You can't give up your children, and they are part of our family now, so I will always be there for them. It's not something that you decide that you're going to do for just a little while.
There's all kinds of people out there that need help like this. It can be a person who is very, very high functioning, all the way down to somebody who doesn't speak, doesn't move, spends their life in a wheelchair. But that doesn't mean that they don't have feelings and needs and desires. And so the job of a volunteer is just that, to figure out what are your needs? What do you want out of life?
Your Answer can also provide a meaningful service for so many Oklahomans with developmental disabilities living in state-supported homes. They also need someone to make sure they have everything they need to lead a full and satisfying life like the rest of us. And if they don't, they need someone to report it so the issues can be resolved. This is the important job of our OK AIM volunteers.
AIM is just that, advocates involved in monitoring.
We go into the individual's home just making sure that they're safe, they're well, they're happy.
We're just there to see how the people are living in their home. Do they like their home?
We're an arbitrary resource to these individuals, and we're also there for the HTS as well. So if they need something to better support that individual, we also ask them what we can do to help them.
Some people want to put them in places where they think they're going to be safe, and it's really very inhibiting. We wouldn't like it, and they don't like it.
You may go into a home where you have somebody that's total care, and their ways of communicating are not typical. They may not use their words or their voice in ways that we would normally understand. And that's where the HTS and the support staff come into play, because they help utilize the tools in that house necessary. You make sure they have the resources that they need, that they have a good, fruitful life.
ARCOR and OK AIM, two volunteer programs working toward one goal: to improve the lives of people with disabilities across Oklahoma. At TARC, we believe in the power of one, because all it takes is one person to make that one decision to be a volunteer and make a difference in the life of a person with a developmental disability.
It's not just writing a check for a charity. It's getting involved in your community. It's helping the people who need help and don't have a voice to help them.
Do you want to have an impact? Because what you do as a volunteer, what you do as an advocate, and as a guardian has a huge impact, not only on the life of the individual, but really on the lives of you and your family.
To be a TARC volunteer, it's a no-brainer. It takes just a very minimal effort and time of your life, and the gift that you're giving somebody else could really make or break their life.
So, what we need to know is, are you the one?